Good morning, students. Welcome to the online class of English. Today, we are going to continue with the same topic, that is determiners. But before we move ahead, let us take a quick recap at what we have learned in our previous video. Determiners. Determiners are the words that are used before a noun and they provide some information about it but do not describe it. For example, the ball, his son, 5 cats, etc. In this slide, you can see the various type of determiners, that is articles, demonstratives, possessives, quantifiers, numerals, interrogatives, and yes, of course, there is one more type, that is distributives, although it is not mentioned here, but we will be dealing with that also. Although I have explained you about the articles in my previous video, but before we move ahead, let me explain you about the same in brief. There are 3 articles in the English language, that is a, and the. A and an are indefinite articles and they are used before singular countable nouns. A is used when the noun begins with a consonant, for example, a bag, a cat. Sometimes the noun begins with a vowel but it gives the sound of a consonant. In that case, we will use a before it. For example, a university, although here the word university is beginning with the vowel U, but it gives the sound of Y. So, a is used before it. An is used when the noun begins with a vowel. For example, an egg, an apple, etc. Sometimes the noun when begins with the letter H. In that case, sometimes the letter H is silent and then it gives the sound of a vowel. In that case, we use an before it. For example, an R. Now here R begins with H but H is silent and it gives the sound of a vowel. So, we will use an before it. The definite article the is used when we talk about a particular or a specific thing. For example, the umbrella is in the room. The is also used before the names of the rivers, oceans, seas, before the names of holy books, when we talk about the same noun for the second time, when we talk about a class, the is also used before the superlative degree, the is also used before the directions, before the designations, etc. Moving ahead to the second type of determiners, that is demonstratives. Demonstratives are the words that show which person or thing is being referred to. The demonstratives in English are this, that, these and those. Now let us see the usage of these demonstratives. This and that are used for singular nouns and these and those are used for plural nouns. This used for singular nouns and these used for plural nouns refer to an object or person near the speaker. That for singular nouns and those for plural nouns refer to an object or person away from the speaker. For example, who owns that house? Here, that refers to the house which is far away. Is this Tashin's house? Means we are referring to the house which is close to us. The next is the possessive determiners. It is a word that shows possession or belongingness and is followed by a noun. There are 7 possessive determiners, that is my, our, your, his, her, its, and their. Children, these possessive determiners are formed according to the subject. In this table, you can see for if the subject is I, then we can use my. If the subject is you, then we can use your. If the subject is he, then his is used. If the subject is she, then her is used. If the subject is it, then its is used. If the subject is we, then our is used. If the subject is they, then their is used. The next type of determiners is the quantifiers. Quantifiers form a subject under determiners. They are adjectives or phrases that serve to answer two possible questions: how many and how much. And the words that are used as quantifiers are a few, a little, much, many, most, etc. These words are used as quantifiers. Now, let us study in detail about the various quantifiers. Quantifiers are the words that express an amount or degree of something. With countable nouns, we use the quantifiers like a majority of, a number of, several, many, a large number, a few, few, very few, a great number. With uncountable nouns, we use much, a bit, a great deal of, a large quantity of, a large number of, a little, little, and very little. There are certain words that are used both with countable and uncountable nouns, like enough, all, more, most, less, least, no, none, any, not any, some, plenty of, lots of. Children, you will notice that there are certain words that are used with both in both quantifiers and in distributive determiners. And yes, it is right, certain words are used in the both categories. Now let us study about the usage of the quantifiers in detail. The first one is sum. Sum points towards a certain number or amount, a quantity or degree. It can be used before countable or uncountable nouns. It is used in affirmative and interrogative sentences. For example, the thirsty traveler drank some water. There are some flowers in the park. In the first sentence, some was used with uncountable noun, whereas in the second sentence, some is used with the countable noun, flowers. The second one is any. Any is used in negative and interrogative sentences. It also conveys the meaning of every or nothing particular. For example, take any book you like. There is hardly any sugar left in the box. Moving ahead to the next, that is few, a few, and the few. These are used before countable nouns and they represent number. Few, it conveys the idea of scarcity or lack of something. Means negative sense में use होता है few. It is almost negative in meaning. For example, there are few girls in the class. Few girls in the class means almost none. A few conveys the idea of a small number. It is used in a positive sense. For example, I have read a few books on this topic. A few means thodi si, but it is used with countable nouns. The few means all of them, though very few in number. For example, the few sweets in the box fell down. Now, little, a little, and the little. These are used to refer to uncountable nouns and they represent quantity or amount. Little, it conveys the idea or scarcity of something. Like few conveys the idea of scarcity of some or lack of something in number. Similarly, little also conveys the idea of scarcity of or lack of something, but it is used with uncountable nouns and it is almost negative in meaning. For example, there is little joy in eating alone. Little means almost none, almost there is lack of something, यानी बिल्कुल भी मज़ा नहीं आता है जब हम अकेले बैठकर खाते हैं. A little conveys the idea of a small amount and it is used in positive sense. For example, there is a little chance of success. A little means thoda sa chance hai of success. The little means not much but all that is there. It means the entire quantity though very little. I spent the little money I earned means जितनी अर्न करी थी वो सारी की सारी, चाहे बहुत थोड़ी थी बट सारी की सारी. The usage of much and many. Like little is used for uncountable nouns for scarcity or lack of something. Similarly, much is used with uncountable nouns. Much means ज़्यादा और little means थोड़ा. And much is used with uncountable nouns. And many is used with countable nouns. Like few means कम or many means ज़्यादा. And they both mean much and many. They both convey the idea of a lot of. Much is used before uncountable nouns and many is used before countable nouns. For example, I did not have much problem in locating your house. There was a time when our country could boast of many noble leaders. Now leaders are countable, so we have used many, and problem is uncountable, so we have used much. The usage of more. More is used before plural uncountable nouns to refer to a quantity or amount of something in comparison to another. More भी quantity के लिए लगता है. Uncountable nouns. For example, he writes more letters than I do. Or you can say, I want more rice. It is also used to refer to an additional quantity of something when used without than. For example, more funds will be collected when the need arises. Less. It is used to refer to an amount of something that is smaller than another amount. It is used before uncountable nouns. Less का मतलब भी है कम. For example, she has finished the test in less time than her classmates. Means उसने कम time लिया. Less time. Uncountable noun है time, तो उसके साथ हमने less का usage किया. Fewer again refers to means come and it is used with countable nouns. It is used before plural nouns to refer to a group of things that is smaller than the other group. For example, there are fewer orchards in the plains than the hills. Orchard means a fruit garden, you can say, that is where fruits are grown for commercial use. It is not orchard, it is orchard, right? The pronunciation is orchard.